Is your Chihuahua jumping up all the time and you're not really sure what to do about it? Don't worry, we have the video for you. Welcome back to the Fenrir Chihuahua Show. My name's Joe and I'm a certified canine leader here at FenrirCanineLeaders.com. We are dedicated to helping you learn everything you could possibly want to know about the Chihuahua and then how to become a high-level canine leader so you can raise your very own. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a future upload. If your Chihuahua's jumping up in the house all the time or out on your walks and jumping up at people that you don't even know, it can become pretty awkward. So today we're going to be tuning into a webinar that canine behaviorist and founder of FenrirCanineLeaders.com, Will, has recorded all about how to deal with your dog jumping up.
So in this next quickfire webinar, we're going to be addressing one of the most common, probably the most common problem behavior that as a canine behaviorist I come across in what I class as the category of more of a low-level problem behavior, and that is jumping up. Now, depending on the breed that we're talking about, if it's a small dog, then it's an annoying, obnoxious behavior. If it's a large, powerful breed, then it can be incredibly dangerous. Either way, I truly believe that jumping up should be a non-negotiable, is not acceptable behavior, and all dogs should be well-mannered, calm, patient dogs. So in this webinar, I'm going to talk about how I help my clients go through the process of being able to get a dog that is jumping up and is either obnoxious all the way through to downright dangerous, to having them as calm, relaxed, patient, well-mannered dogs. Now, yes, there is a very clear behavior modification and intervention strategy that we are going to put into place to be able to very quickly, efficiently, and incredibly effectively deal with jumping up. It's probably the behavior with the most high success rate for pretty much anybody to be able to come in and implement this strategy to high levels of success. Now, if you follow Fenrir at all and you've watched any of our other videos on YouTube or these webinars, you will know that I believe it is incredibly important, and the vast majority of the work that we do isn't simply putting plasters on behavior problems. We consider that the micro issue. Now, as behaviorists, we help people address those problems. I'm going to help you with that in today's video, but we focus on the macro issue, and the macro issue behind all behavior problems is a lack of leadership on the owner's part. So whether you're coming at this from potentially being interested in being a professional and you want to help your clients with behaviors like jumping up, or you're watching this because you are struggling having your dog display some of these behaviors, you must always start by restructuring that relationship and addressing the issue of leadership. The owner in that dog's life must become a high-level canine leader that has the dog that will look up to them for guidance and direction. If you can achieve that, then you open up a communication pathway between you and your dog. When you have that pathway wide open, it is incredibly easy to teach them the things that you do want, and it is incredibly easy to teach them the things that you don't want them to do. And in this circumstance, that is what we need to be able to so quickly and efficiently address the behavior of jumping up. So here at Fenrir, to help people go through that process of restructuring that relationship, putting in rules, boundaries, and expectations for their dog to be able to have them see the owner as the leader in the scenario, as we go through our 1-month boot camp program that we designed. I've completely lost track of the amount of people that has helped to achieve this to incredibly high levels of success. We have a version of it that we do in person with clients, and we also turned it into an online version so that anybody all around the world can do exactly the same thing and achieve exactly the same levels of extreme success. And there'll be a link down in the description box below if you're interested, by the way. But that is about implementing rules, boundaries, and structure and expectation for the dog. That allows them to flip that mentality to see the owner as the leader. Simultaneously, it's about teaching the owner the theories, concepts, and principles to become a higher level canine leader themselves. The combination of the two things gives us the desired outcome of a dog that sees them as an owner, opens up that communication pathway, and through that pathway then allows us to address these behavior difficulties and problems incredibly easily, compared to simply going and attacking the micro problem and trying to put a plaster on it. We address the macro problem, and 9 times out of 10 the micro problem goes away on its own anyway, and if it doesn't, then we can come in and implement an incredibly easy strategy to address the problem. And that's what we're going to talk about now in terms of a dog that's jumping up a lot. So once we've restructured that relationship, it is then really easy to address a dog that's jumping up to the levels of like 100% success rate. It is a very straightforward process to be able to stop it happening. We need to correct the dog's negative behavior, which is jumping up. We then need to redirect them and show them what it is that we do want from them instead. And when they're displaying that desired behavior, we reinforce it. So if right now you've got a dog that jumps up all of the time, that's the undesirable behavior up here, and the desirable behavior is right down at rock bottom in terms of being calm, waiting patiently with good manners. We're going to correct this behavior, which makes that happen less frequently, and we're going to positively reinforce this desired outcome, which will mean that that will happen more frequently. We do the same, both things at the same time, and very quickly we get to a point where we're at the desired outcome all of the time, and we don't need to use corrections anymore. So in terms of what we do, is we set up drills and we practice. When we get a friend or family, or you as the trainer, if you're doing this in a professional setting, you can go through the door, the dog wants to come and welcome you. I recommend utilising a slip lead on the dog. The second that that dog wants to jump up or is about to jump up, we can't do it before because that's not fair. We need to do it with perfect timing to let them know exactly what it is that we're correcting and that we don't want them to do. We're going to use that slip lead with a very firm vocal inflection, shoulders back, chest up, and we're going to use a verbal correction whilst pulling them down. And we're not tug of warring them down, it's just a quick pop alongside the verbal correction to let them know that is not acceptable, stop doing that. We never ignore problem behaviours. Good leaders don't ignore problems. Good leaders address problems head on, fairly, but efficiently and swiftly, and then they move on straight away. That's what we need to do with our dogs. So the behaviour happens, the negative behaviour. I like to use an but you can use a no, a tss noise. Some people even like to put pennies in a can, rings that you can jingle, some kind of verbal auditory response to let the dog know, stop doing what you're doing. Again, I like to use an so I'll use that as an example now. So the dog's about to jump up, I've got my lead, and it's an chest up, vocal inflection, no. Any version that you want to use, let them know that right now, bam, that's not acceptable. We don't do that anymore, stop it. And then we move on. It's that quick. A correction is on and off. It is over as quick as it starts. We don't sulk with our dogs. We don't get into a tug of war. We don't fight with them. We just let them know swiftly, fairly, and quickly that is not acceptable. Brilliant. Then it's not fair on the dog to then not let them know what it is that we do want from them instead. So when it comes to jumping up, the best and most efficient way is the undesirable behaviour of jumping up. We redirect to sit and stay. We ask for a stay. And then we reinforce that behaviour. So that stay could be 1 second. So that process altogether might look as something as simple as dog goes to jump up, sit, good boy, yes, good. And then we stroke and we reinforce and we reward that behaviour. Very straightforward, very simple. Next time we drill it, we might go for a 2-second stay before we reinforce, then 3 seconds, then 5 seconds, then 10 seconds. And we build up that concept in the dog's mind of not only what I don't want you to do, but what I want from you in all situations and scenarios is to sit, be patient, calm, and quiet. If you do that for me, then excellent things are going to happen. Going through that boot camp process, we teach tons of different drills and ways that you can do that as well. In terms of at feeding time, we get our dogs to go into a nice sit, stay, and calm before they get access to food, before they get access to toys, before they get access to welcoming up onto the furniture. We drill into the dog this concept of, if you want something nice, I want to give it you. I love you more than you will ever know. And I want you to have a wonderful, happy life. And I want you to have everything you ever want. But to get those things, all I ask, because I am in charge, I am the leader in this situation, is that you sit and you wait calmly, patiently, with good manners. If you do that for me, you can have anything that you ever dreamed of. If you're obnoxious, you're annoying, you're barking, you jump up, then I'm going to tell you for that. I'm going to swiftly correct, swiftly and fairly, efficiently, with 100% consistency, so there's no confusion. Every single time I'm going to tell you that is not acceptable. this is what I want you to do. When you do that thing for me, then good things are going to happen. It isn't rocket science, which is why you can have such high levels of success at kind of any level of leadership. Anybody can understand those concepts and theories. Implementing it is where it gets difficult, because you can't be lazy. You have to be disciplined. You have to put in those rules, boundaries and expectations, and you have to stick to them 100% of the time. If you do that, you will have a perfect dog. If you can help your clients do that, they will have a perfect dog. Theory isn't rocket science. Implementation of it takes a little bit of discipline. But if you're willing to put in that discipline, I guarantee you're going to have incredibly high levels of success.
There you have it, guys. Some really useful tips and tricks from Will there, all about how to deal with your Chihuahua jumping up. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, get involved in the comments down below, as we would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell, as we have 2 dedicated videos coming out every single week. So I can't wait to see you in the next episode of the Fenrir Chihuahua Show.